Welcome to the Honda N1 RS. It sounds like the name of a $1 million supercar, but actually it's quite the opposite. This is what's known as a K car in Japan. It's basically a vehicle category with restrictions in dimensions and engine size, opening up the possibility of lower insurance, lower tax, and in some regions, parking exemptions. This is the sporty RS model, so it's got black alloy wheels and other trimmings, a rear spoiler, and this example's also got the contrasting white roof with Mugen windshields on the windows there, and also for the door handle protection. So when you put your hand in there, it doesn't scratch behind the door handle. It is such a fun little car. Even just looking at it puts a smile on your face. I love the way turbo is kind of written backwards, or not even backwards, it's mirrored. So when you're driving in front of it and you look in your mirror, you'll actually see turbo written out, which is pretty cool. It's also got little mud flaps or spats at the back with turbo written nicely there. Back in the 1980s, turbo was such an exciting word, and I love that this is bringing back that kind of attitude. Turbo, it doesn't mean that it's, extraordinarily fast, but it's just an exciting word, so why not use it? And then inside, obviously it's quite small, but it is very well packaged. You've got little shelves and things everywhere, cup holders, a little trough down the bottom there as well. It's even got a touch screen. This example's actually got a lot of features too. There's another little shelf down there under the steering column, cup holder. But yeah, it's got lane departure warning, parking sensors, and even autonomous emergency braking. It's actually not as cramped as you might think. There's heaps of headroom. Like look, my head's nowhere near the top of that. And it doesn't feel that cramped around my legs either. There is no reach adjustment from the steering column, it only goes up and down, but even still, you can move your seat forward and things and find a reasonably good driving position. You do sit up a little bit. The seats sit high off the floor of the vehicle, but you're still sitting quite low to the ground, like it's just there. But yeah, being a Honda, there's lots of quality materials around. It's got this kind of wood trim on the dash. Nice sporty steering wheel with red bits. Yeah, it feels like a well-made vehicle. It doesn't, just because it's a small sort of cheap focused vehicle, it's not any less Honda than any other model. And then in the back, you actually get a good sense of how small this is. Look at that C-pillar right there, and then the end of the car is just there and the seats are there. It's, you pretty much sit at the back of the car. But you can see there's plenty of legroom there. The seat again is perched pretty high. And yeah, headroom is not bad at all. My head's, it's starting to get a little bit close, and I'm only 170 centimeters, but I've got excellent legroom. I think that's the most impressive part. But I think even if I was a fair bit taller, I'd still fit with reasonable comfort. Obviously there's only 4 seats. You won't get another person in the middle there. You could squash in here, but it would be illegal. And then you've got power windows and a nice little mobile phone holder in the middle there. And in the very back, we've got quite a large tailgate swinging up there, but then a pint-sized boot, as you would expect. Oh, it actually goes pretty deep underneath there too. So you've got 2 spots. You can have smaller items down there without them rolling around, and then have the rest of your stuff on top. It does feature magic seats, Honda's magic seats, so when you fold them down, they go completely flush. But you can also swing that whole thing up as well, and then have even more clearance on this side. And then under the bonnet, such a cute little bonnet too, even the little stalk that holds it up, is a 660cc 3-cylinder petrol engine. This example features the turbocharger, so you can actually get this without the turbo. It has 43 kilowatts with the turbo. That boosts things up to 47 kilowatts. I know, right? Hold on to your hat. But keep in mind, these weigh only about 900 kilograms, depending on the spec. But 900 kilograms, that's easily lighter than any brand new vehicle on the market today that I can think of anyway. Although those figures might not sound that impressive, it actually drives all right. It doesn't feel any slower than most of the cars out there, especially once you're up and running. And it gets off the line all right too. I've even had the tyres chirp off the line, so how exciting is that? But we'll go for a bit of a drive now. I'll put the camera on my head to give you a bit of an idea, and then we'll do the performance testing to see what it goes like. Out on the road, the first thing you'll probably notice is just how small this is. Like the other side of the dash is right there. I can almost touch it, which means the outside of the car is not, you know, too much further than that. So you've got plenty of room within your lane to really, you know, move about. If you want to go around corners and things and have go on a bit of a racing line, then that's easy to do in this because you've got plenty of room. It is a lot of fun, I think, because it's interesting. It's so small and it's a bit like a toy, so it's fun when you're driving normally. With the turbocharger though, this engine isn't actually as slow as it seems. The 0 to 100 might not be that good, when we'll see in a minute, but the mid-range and taking off from the lights and things is not too bad. It actually picks up quicker than you expect. It's got a bit of torque surge going on, so you don't need to fully rev it out to experience some level of push from behind. And yeah, going around corners and things, I don't know, I feel like a manual would be a little bit more fun, but the guys at Go Garage say, no, the manual's actually a bit worse. Maybe because you've got to really keep changing the gears to make them get the maximum out of this little engine. Whereas with this CVT, it's always finding the right ratio no matter what situation you're in. The ride and handling feels pretty good. It's definitely not too rigid. Soaking up these bumps very well. I'm just finding when you push it a bit hard, the tyres do start to let go a little bit, but that's understandable considering they're so narrow. Overall, this is a fun little car to drive though, especially in the city where this vehicle belongs, because you can just dart about in traffic. You don't have to worry too much about little skinny laneways and things. It can easily get through, and with the absorbent suspension, surprising amount of wheel travel, you can just skip over bumps and things on ordinary city roads easily. Alright, let's head out now and do the performance test and see what it goes like. If you are interested in buying one of these, this example is actually up for sale at Go Garage, but they can also import you something very similar. Head over to gogarage.com.au, it's linked in the description of this video.